Good afternoon, yogis. Welcome to Team Stretch. Just a nice 15 to 20 minutes break from your day. Just kind of work out those kinks, ease some of those places of tightness and tension. Today, we're going to be mostly seated, so if you can just find a nice, easy seat. If you have a blanket, a yoga mat, anything will suffice. I do have two pups in our room, so they may be making their on-screen debut. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start to make ourselves comfortable. I'm going to step away from my desk, make my way onto the mat. Hi, girls. We've got Dia and Miss Pepper here. Take off your shoes, get comfy and cozy. And I recommend really kind of rocking side to side, kind of pull that flesh away from your sit bones, all that lusciousness, so you're nice and grounded. You until those two bony points connect. We're going to have a nice tall spine, so low belly in, heart lifted, shoulders up, down and back. Let's do that a couple times and take some cleansing breaths with it, just to let go of everything leading up to this moment. So nice inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, melt them away, open the mouth. Do that again. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. Last and final release. Slow inhale up to the shoulders. Hold for just a beat. Create a little tension. And exhale, let it go. All right, just to find some balance, do a couple of shoulder shrugs in the opposite direction. All right, inhale up. Exhale, let it go. So just take note of the way that you naturally form your little crisscross applesauce here. And we are going to find some nice hip circles here. So it's going to work into the low back, side bodies, and that piriformis, that little muscle in the inner thigh. So just start to roll over in one direction, taking your heart over the knees and back. You can kind of pull on your knees, create a little of an anchor here, help you stay grounded. Very nice steady breath as you do so. So it's warming up the hips, warming up the spine. The bigger your circles are, the more sensation you may feel. So start to kind of make those circles a little bit smaller. We're going to come back into center. So inhale, both arms up overhead. Go ahead and drop that left arm down, stretching the right arm up and over. Look for length first, and then you're bowing. So if you're more flexible, you may come to your elbow. Just try not to pick up that hip. Pull it down and then lift up. A couple breaths here. Maybe you start to take your gaze towards the sky. Inhale, lift up. We're going to keep this hand grounded. Take this top hand to the top of your head and then drop that right ear towards your right shoulder. So the more you walk this hand away, the more sensation you'll feel in this next stretch. If either of these 2 points is too intense, then just bring both hands to the lap. So we want this top hand to be more of a goal to stretch up into rather than creating weights. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. You can even play with that angle and slightly dropping the chin down and lightly taking the gaze up. Kind of find that point of resistance, not pain, but just where you feel that little tug of sensation. You can deepen your breath there. I'm going to release our hands to our lap and just let that chin roll in towards the chest, making these half moon kind of pendulum shapes from one shoulder to the other. Next time your chin rolls in towards your chest, gently lift your gaze. You need some shoulder shrugs to let that go. So we're still going to be moving towards that same direction here. So inhale, lift the arms up once more. This time for a twist. So you're going to take that right arm across the left knee, growing nice and tall with the inhale. And then exhale, think of rotating the ribs. If you've got the space, maybe you can start to look over your opposite shoulder. And take one big breath in, one big breath out. Keeping this hand on the knee, release back towards center. Left arm up, side body stretch the opposite direction. Big breath in and release. For the sake of balance in the hips, we're going to switch that cross of the ankles before we move to the other side. So feel free to readjust your seat as needed. Heart is lifted, low belly in, starting with that tall spine. Breathe in, and then we'll start our circles in the opposite direction. So going over that opposite knee that you started with. So almost think like of stirring a big pot of mac and cheese or something. Using that spatula, scrape the sides. And slowly start to make those circles a little bit smaller. Until we're back into our upright position. Inhale, arms up. Taking that side body stretch this time to the right. So right hand down, left arm lifts, and then you can start to bow. Keeping both sit bones grounded. Maybe you start to take your gaze up towards the sky. Feel this little space created of the ribs lifting up and away from those hip creases. So side bodies we're talking about. Just a little void on screen. Inhale, lift up. We're going to keep this hand down for that next stretch. So left ear to left shoulder. Again, you can always customize by bringing the hands to the laps if it's too much sensation. Lift your head into your palm and walk this hand away from you. Let this arm bone be heavy. And you can stay here, explore, letting the chin roll in slightly towards the chest. Maybe taking the gaze up. Finding that moment of resistance and offering a few more deep breaths. And release, letting that chin roll in towards the chest. We'll find these half moon shapes once again. You prefer, however, to find full circles. You're a little more balanced now. Just move nice and slowly, especially if you're choosing to drop the head back. And take those circles in the opposite direction. We're gonna let the chin roll in towards the chest. Lift the gaze once more. Preparing for that supine twist in the opposite direction. So arms lift up. Exhale, left arm across to right knee, nice and tall first, and then start to roll the heart open, this thoracic spine or the rib cage. We have the most flexibility here and twisting along with the cervical spine or the neck. So if you're able to take your gaze over your shoulder, feel free to do that. And release, keeping this hand on the knee. We'll take that counter stretch in the opposite direction. So lifting up, and then bowing over. Big breath in, big release out. Release, and we're gonna find a little bit of a hip stretch here since we warmed up with those circles. So bring the feet together, knees wide, kind of like you're opening up a book. There's two ways to approach this. You can have the knees far apart. It's going to target more of the low back, the outer hips. However, if you have the feet closer towards the groin or your person, you're going to target more of the inner hips. So if you like that sensation of the piriformis, kind of the little tug on the inner hip when we did our circles, maybe that's for you. So just kind of find that space that feels good. Tall spine once again, and then we'll exhale and start to fold over that space. You're able to, you can bring the elbows down, or maybe have like a stack of props. This can be blocks, pillows, resting the forehead, a nice way to kind of ease your stress. Gentle pressure on that point between the brows. This way to kind of introvert and turn off the stress of your day. Let's take a pause. And take one more nice, slow, steady breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. And then as slow as possible, if you have no spinal injuries or issues here, you can roll up. Otherwise, find that flat back. And so we're going to come up as carefully as we can, one vertebra at a time. Let the eyes be soft or closed. Lifting the shoulders up, down, and back. Head is the last. Let's take a pause here, a moment for mindfulness. Slowly allow the eyes to float open. You can bring the hands behind you. Bring the soles of the feet down and just windshield wiper side to side. So it should feel nice and good in your inner hips, outer hips. Just bringing some of that blood flow back. Coming back through center, we're gonna cross the ankles, roll over the knees, make your way into a high kneeling. So I'm just gonna turn to the side so you can see what's going on behind the scenes. You don't have to do the same. And we're gonna find a little bit of shoulder stretching. We're gonna do one last pose that everybody just loves, and I say that facetiously because it's a toe squat, but I will tell you some of the best things you can do for your low back. It's kind of this domino effect. If you've got tension in the calves, the hamstrings, the low back, we gotta go to the root, the feet. So curl the toes under and sit upright. So this may be enough sensation for you. If, however, you're able to sit back onto the heels, that's going to give you more of a stretch. You can also take any kind of blanket or props underneath. So I'm going to face forward. If you're able to hold that, feel free to. If it's too much, come out at any time. In the meanwhile, we'll distract ourselves with some nice shoulder stretches. So inhale, bring the arms out wide, the shoulders slide down the back. Wrists in line with elbows, with shoulders. And we're going to take that right arm across the body. Create a nice figure four stretch. This is where the breath is really going to serve you as that sensation creeps up, gets more intense. Maybe close the eyes. See if you can breathe into the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale with the arms up. Come off the feet for just a bit. Flip the hands, take them up to the sky. Exhale, arms like a T. Sit back on those heels just a little while longer. So we take that left arm across the body. Figure 4. Close the eyes, center yourself. The shoulders slide down the back, breathing into the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arms. Interlace them behind the back. Roll the shoulders. Lift the heart up just for a counter stretch. 1 more beat. And let go. Bring the hands down in front of you. Best part. Curl off those toes. And just give them a nice, pitter patter. Like you can find a little counter stretch just by gently lifting up the knees. Only if it feels okay for the ankles. And release. So that should do it for today for Team Stretch. Hopefully you feel a little more grounded in your base, a little freer in the upper body. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Both the light and the dark that reside in me, honor and recognize that within each of you. Namaste.